The amber light of the setting sun stretched long shadows across the city streets as Emily Dawson hurried out of Sterling Tower, her heels tapping a rapid, anxious rhythm against the concrete. At 33, Emily had spent the last 7 years building a reputation as a sharp, dependable senior financial analyst. Now, with her phone clutched tightly in her hand, she felt the world crumble around her. Effective immediately, Miss Dawson. Security will escort you out. 3 years of 60-hour work weeks, missed family gatherings, and relationships left on the back burner vanished in a single moment. A client's baseless accusation, combined with the subtle office politics Emily had never anticipated, had ended her career overnight. The box of her personal belongings, handed over by 2 stone-faced security officers, felt heavier than anything she had ever carried. Her mind spun with practical worries. Rent due in 2 weeks, dwindling savings, and the thought that her professional reputation, once impeccable, was now tainted in the tight-knit world of finance. The weight pressed down on her chest, making it hard to breathe. A few steps behind, Derek Foster pushed his cleaning cart along the sidewalk. At 39, Derek had been a night janitor at Sterling Tower for 5 years, balancing the demands of his work with caring for his 10-year-old son, Lucas, who had cerebral palsy. The city had taught Derek to notice everything. Faces, moods, small changes, but most people didn't notice him at all. Tonight, though, Derek noticed Emily. He had seen her leave the building, escorted by security, and something about her stiff posture and the unsteady way she walked set off an alarm in his mind. He knew the Riverside Bridge ahead, notorious for desperate choices, was where she was heading. "Don't follow me," Emily snapped, sensing him behind her. Her voice was sharp, defensive. "I don't need anything else right now." Derek stopped, holding his hands up in peace. "I'm not trying to bother you, ma'am," he said gently. "I work in the building. I want to make sure you're okay." Emily looked at him, recognizing the uniform beneath his worn jacket. She shook her head. "I'm fine. Really. Just go." But Derek had watched Emily work late nights for years. Always polite, always diligent, always extending small kindnesses no one else noticed. He had seen her leave a $20 bill on his cart once, with a note saying, "For coffee. Thank you for your help." He also recognized the signs of someone in crisis. "Emily," he said softly, "whatever happened today, it's not worth what you're thinking." She whirled toward him, tears threatening to spill. "You don't know anything about my life. You don't know what I've lost." Derek stayed calm. "I may not know everything, but I know how it feels to feel trapped in a life that's crushing you." Emily's anger faltered slightly, curiosity flickering through her despair. "My son, Lucas, was born with cerebral palsy," Derek continued. "Doctor said he might never walk, never talk clearly, that he'd always need constant care. His mother couldn't handle it and left. I had to leave my accounting career just to make sure he had a future. Some days, I thought I was failing him, that he'd be better off without me." Emily's eyes widened, guilt replacing some of her anger. I didn't realize." Derek smiled faintly, though sadness lingered in his eyes. "One day, Lucas took his first steps, not because anyone expected him to, but because he wanted to reach me. He reminded me that life isn't over just because it feels impossible. Sometimes, all you have to do is keep going, one day at a time, until the path becomes clear." Emily felt tears prick her eyes. "I don't even know where to start. My career, my savings, everything I've built, gone." Derek shook his head gently. "You have tomorrow, and the day after. Life can change faster than you imagine." Emily looked at him skeptically. "Easy for you to say. You didn't lose everything overnight." "Maybe not," he admitted, "but I've seen people come back from worse. I've also seen you, Emily. I've watched you stay late to help junior analysts, take panic client calls with patience, show kindness in ways no one else notices. A few months ago, when Lucas's wheelchair broke, you overheard me talking and gave me a contact who helped us get a new one. That's not the action of someone who has nothing left to give." Emily remembered, faintly, the act of helping. She had never thought it was a big deal. But Derek's words carved a space in her chest where hope could breathe again. "I don't know what to do next," she whispered. You don't have to know tonight, Derek said. Just decide to see what tomorrow brings. They walked back toward the main street together. Derek told her about Lucas's fascination with numbers, his determination to learn, and how he approached each day with a courage that inspired everyone who met him. He wants to meet you someday, Derek said. I've told him about the lady in the building who helped us and always said hello. I'd like that, Emily said softly, realizing she meant it. Over the following weeks, Emily struggled with unemployment, facing rejection after rejection, but thoughts of Derek and Lucas kept her grounded. She began volunteering at a nonprofit helping families with children who had special needs, using her financial expertise to assist them in managing resources and planning for medical expenses. It was there she met Dr. Lillian Ortega, a founder of a foundation dedicated to financial literacy and support for single parents. When Dr. Ortega learned about Emily's experience and skills, she offered her a position creating programs to help families navigate financial crises. We need someone who understands numbers and people, Dr. Ortega explained. You've lived both worlds. 6 months later, Emily found herself in a career more fulfilling than any office job she had held. She was helping families like Derek and Lucas, teaching them to balance hope and reality, finances, and life. Derek, meanwhile, uses evenings and weekends to help teach workshops Emily organized, offering real-life advice about managing tight budgets. One evening, after a workshop, Emily said, I never properly thanked you for that night on the bridge. For what? Derek asked, puzzled. For seeing something in me I couldn't see myself. For understanding that sometimes someone else's belief can pull you out of despair. Derek smiled. You did the same for me, Emily. Every time you treated me with respect, acknowledged me, made me feel I mattered, you reminded me I had dignity, no matter my job. That mattered more than you know. Emily felt a warmth spread through her chest. So, we were helping each other all along. Exactly, Derek replied. People think rescue has to be dramatic. Often, it's simply recognizing the good in someone and reflecting it back to them when they can't see it themselves. As they left the community center, Derek added, Lucas wants you to come to a school presentation next week. He's doing a project on people who help others, and he wants to include you. Emily laughed softly. I'd be honored. What's the theme? Heroes in everyday clothes, Derek said with a grin. Lucas says the best heroes don't wear capes because they're too busy helping people to worry about looking impressive. Emily thought about Derek and Lucas and the quiet ways they had changed her life. They're going to do great things, she said. Already are, Derek said proudly. Just like their hero who reminded them that the most important job sometimes is helping others find their way back to themselves. As she watched Derek board his bus that evening, Emily realized the truth. Real success wasn't measured in corner offices or stock portfolios. It was measured by the lives you touched, the hope you inspired, and the belief you restored in others. And sometimes, the person who saves you is the one you never noticed watching from the shadows, quietly making sure you could see your own worth. Emily knew that her career might have ended at Sterling Tower, but her purpose had just begun, and she had already found her first heroes in everyday clothes.